Hi, my name is Forrest, and I come to you today from the beautiful Smoky Mountains of North Carolina that I'm blessed to call home. Today I want to share with you a really beautiful and profound story, and it's from ancient China, and it goes like this. One day there was a farmer whose horse ran away, and his neighbor, upon hearing the news, came over to him, and he said, "What terrible news! What a tragedy that you lost your horse." And the farmer said to the neighbor, "You never know." The next day, the horse returned, but with multiple horses, and young studs at that. And the neighbor, upon hearing the news, came back over to the farmer, and he said, "What wonderful news! What great fortune! Now you have multiple horses with which to work your land." And the farmer said, "You never know." The next day, the farmer's son was breaking in one of the new horses, and he fell off and shattered his leg. And the neighbor, upon hearing the news, came back over, and he said, "What horrible news! What misfortune! Now your son can't work the land." And the farmer said, "You never know." The next day, the cavalry came through all of the local farms, seeking to take the firstborn son. And they bypassed the farmer's son because of his broken leg. And the neighbor, upon hearing the news, came back over and said, "What wonderful news! Why, now that is fortune. That is absolute fortune that the cavalry bypassed your son, and now he gets to live his full years." And the farmer said, "You never know." And presumably the story goes on and on and on with "you never know." Now, what can we take from that ancient Chinese story? Well, it's pretty clear what the message is, and that is, do not become too attached to your highs, and do not become too attached to your lows. The highs will pass, and so will the lows. Now, of course, in this society, we have a tendency, it's almost like we're conditioned, in fact, to cling to our highs and cling to our lows. When we experience something positive and we experience something uplifting in our lives, or even something just pleasurable, we have the tendency to want to hold on to it. But it's in that holding on to it that makes us suffer. The Buddha noted that thousands of years ago, in fact, right? And same thing when we fall into the pits of despair and misfortune and we experience suffering. We have the tendency to cling to that suffering as if it's going to last forever. But it won't. It too shall pass. And out of the lows could come positives for our spiritual growth, for our personal evolution. So who's to say that the suffering that we're experiencing won't end up contributing to the highs that we will inevitably get to experience as well? So the idea is to try to keep some semblance of an equilibrium in both the face of fortune and misfortune, because the misfortune may end up becoming our fortune and the fortune may end up becoming our misfortune, and they both feed each other in the end. So it's always best to keep our center, because you never know.